Hello, welcome to P.B.M. Vending. Today I want to talk a little bit about how to control inventory. It's really hard in this business, but I've had experience in other businesses about inventory, and I'm going to apply what I've learned in other businesses and just some plain old common sense. Now, the first thing that I did, and I still do, is I do what I call a pre-run, where I just get a piece of paper, I list all the stops that I'm going to do the next weekend. And this weekend I go around and I look at the machines and I decide, okay, do they need candy or not? And if they do, I write down, like, ABC company needs 1 peanut M&M and 1 Skittles. Company XYZ needs nothing. And I go all the way down my route, so that when I get all done, I've got an exact count of what I need. Now, when I do that, and the longer you do it, the easier it will become. As an example, I have one stop. It's a little taco joint, and whenever I do that one, it's empty, or almost empty. So that one I could fill all the way to the top. Then I've got another little Indian food place that I could leave just a smidgen in there and it'd be okay. So as an example, if I go to the little place and I say, okay, they're getting low, I need to put a little in there, that does not mean I have to put the whole jar of peanut M&Ms in there. Now, how does that control inventory? Well, if you've got, and I assume we all do, if you've got, let's just say 10 accounts, you should have one big account, and then you should have one really bad account, and the rest of them should be somewhere in the middle. Well, for the little accounts, you don't need, because frankly, if you put that much candy in there, if you put a whole jar of peanut M&Ms in there, the chances are you're going to end up throwing it away because it's just not going to move. It's going to go bad before it gets, and from one thing of peanut M&Ms, if you just put a little bit in each one, you can get 2, maybe 3 stops out of one peanut M&M. Likewise, on the big account, when I go in there, I'm going to have to put 1 to 1.5 things of candy in that one, which is fine. The key here is to limit your expenses, control the inventory so you don't have any candy that you have to throw out. Now, having said that, never try to sell bad candy. As a business owner, you have to be concerned about the kids that are using your machine. Don't give them bad candy. That gives us all a bad name. Alright? So I do a list the week before then, and keeping track of the levels in each machine. And I keep track on the back of the cards. I keep a card for each business. When was the last time I filled out? And I will remember, hopefully, how much has moved since the last time I was there, so I can judge, do I need to put a little in or top it off or leave it alone. Now, as soon as I do that, I do that on a Sunday. I come home and I get online, and I did a video on this about joining Sam's Club, and they've got an option on there where you can be part of the Plus group. It costs $100 for the year, but you get free delivery. And it doesn't matter if you buy a refrigerator or an ink pen. Delivery is free. So I come home, I get on my account at Sam's, and I buy the candy that I want. Now, before you make that phone call, you need to remember, not only are you ordering the candy that you put on your list, but for me, I try to keep track of, because I try to place 2 to 3 machines a month. So I figure, okay, if I'm going to put 4 single heads out next month, then I got to have candy for 4 machines. Or if I'm going to put 2 triple heads out, I've got to have candy for those triple heads. As an example, if I put out 2 triple heads, does that mean I need 6 things of candy? It could. Or I could just use a half of one in each and just get 3 things of candy. It's a judgment call. But so you take your pre-list that you made, then you add onto the candy that you're going to use for the next month. Now, why go to this much trouble? Because here's what I've noticed. There is and I can't remember his site. His site is called All Things Gumball, but I can't remember his name. But anyway, in his videos, if you look in the background, he's got shelves and shelves and shelves of candy. And I thought, well, I mean, even if you have 1,000 machines, why would you keep that inventory? Why would you have money tied up like that? Now, if you've got plenty of money and you don't mind throwing out bad candy, go have a good time. But for me, even if I had 1,000 machines, I might not be able to do the pre-list in one weekend, but I'd be doing a pre-list one weekend, filling the next weekend, doing another pre-list, then doing another, and that way I'm getting 2 deliveries from Sam's every week. But I would not tie up that much money. Now, it just so happens I followed that exact routine last month. And so I went out on Sunday, I ordered Sunday, I got my stuff on Thursday or Friday to get ready to go on Sunday, all right? On Friday, the state of Illinois shut everything down. So now, I can't get to my machines, I can't get the money out, I can't fill them up with candy, and even if I could, what good would it do, because they're all shut down. So now, I have $100 in candy sitting here, plus 4 machines out there with candy in it, ready to go. So by the time it gets into the businesses, it's going to be at least a month and a half old. That bothers me. But granted, this is an unusual circumstance, and I think everybody's going to understand, but still it's irritating. Because I now have product sitting in my apartment and I don't have the money. It's very irritating. But in normal, everyday business circumstances, if you go around to your machine, let's say you have 10 machines, and you do your pre-list and you determine that you need 5 things of candy. Then you come home and decide you need 4 more for your machines going out. You now need 9 containers of candy. So you order it, 9 things of candy come in, you go out, you do your route, then you fill the machines that are ready to go out, and you should have no candy when you're done. That's the way to control inventory. The goal here is get it out as quickly as possible. Now, another thing, another benefit of doing it online is this. When I order from Sam's, let's say like I did last month, I ordered it on Sunday, I got it on Friday on my credit card, and under normal circumstances, I would have put that stuff in Sunday when I did my collections, And so when the bill came in, been able to pay it from the candy that I just collected. So I would have the new candy out, the collections in for 2 or 3 weeks before the bill gets there. That's a good way to control inventory. Could you do that if you went to the store yourself? Sure. But it takes 5 minutes to do your order online. It takes an hour to go to Sam's here in town. Because you got to drive to the store. That's 15 or 20 minutes. You got to go through and pick out what you want. That's a few minutes. Then you got to go stand in line. That's 10 minutes. Then you got to drive back. You just spent an hour. Now you could still put it on your credit card there and still get the benefit of that. But you wasted an hour. Where online you could spend 5 minutes and delivery is free. And you can go right down to how much candy you need. The goal here is when you get back from your collection, from your machines, you should have no candy. None at all. Now when you get larger and you need, you're going to do several collections a month, then it might be smart to start earlier in the day on your collection day, do your collection, and then the rest of the day do your pre-collection from the stops you're going to do next week. Then get home, order your candy, be ready to go for the next week. So that's the idea on controlling your inventory. The key is doing your pre-list, knowing the levels you want in each stop's machines. The goal is not to fill up every machine at every stop. The goal is to get them through to the next time so that you can maximize your profits and limit your expenses. That's the ideal level. The ideal level is that whatever level you leave that candy at, when you come back next time, it's just about empty, but not quite. That's the ideal level. So that's my take on controlling your inventory. If you have any suggestions, let me know. And by the way, if you would be so kind as to reach down and hit subscribe and that little bell next to it, that way whenever new videos are posted, you'll be notified. Now I'm not asking you to subscribe so that I can monetize. I'm not the least bit interested in that. What I am interested in is sharing our experience and our trip as we do this business from beginning to whenever, of all the things that we come across and the things we do, just to share that with as many people as possible, because the ultimate goal here is to give God all the glory, not us. And we can't do that if people aren't watching. So reach down there, hit subscribe and the little bell. Well, that's about all I wanted to say. We'll see you next week on our next video. Bye.